You are now watching Fourth and Inches.
All right, y'all. Welcome back, man. Fourth and Inches. It's your boy Nick here with Mr. Rodriguez Moore. All right, so we ain't gonna waste too much time. We got 5 games we done picked out. We're gonna conversate a little bit going into this week here. Number 15, Ole Miss at Texas A&M. You know, Ole Miss coming off the loss to LSU. A lot of people feel like that was an upset. I didn't. I didn't have high hopes for Ole Miss. But it is what it is, man. Texas A&M struggling. Ole Miss coming off a loss. Who you got?
Okay, what I said was I like Ole Miss to bounce back off of that loss to LSU. And I said even though Texas A&M they got a decent, I ain't gonna say a great, but they got a decent defense, and Ole Miss ain't really got a good defense. Texas A&M offense ain't really that far. They got a nice running back, and they got a good tight end. Outside of them two, the offense really ain't talking about that.
They got a great receiver, but he a freshman. And I don't know, man. Jimbo offense just ain't really, it ain't it. You know what I mean? Like, he keep wanting to say, oh, it's the quarterback this, the quarterback that. Man, you done switched quarterback 7 times. It ain't the quarterback, bro. It's not the quarterback. It's the play caller. So I like Ole Miss. I want to take Ole Miss. They're exciting. They can run the ball. However, A&M defense is great, especially up front. They young, but they great. So
yeah, I would say that. Now, as far as Ole Miss offense, it kind of plays into the hands of Texas A&M defense because they got a good run stopping defense, and Ole Miss this year been more run heavy.
Right. So, like, I don't know. I want to take. I'm still gonna take Ole Miss. I'm gonna take Ole Miss because I believe Lane Kiffin can scheme something to where they can beat Texas A&M. Like, they've shown that they can pass the ball. They beat Kentucky by throwing for almost 300 yards because Kentucky just completely shut their run game down. So if they can do that again on A&M, and A&M has not scored more than 24 points at all in any game this season, it's gonna be a struggle for them.
Yeah, I'm with you on taking Ole Miss. That's my pick.
All right, we got number 9 Oklahoma State on the road at number 22 Kansas State. The Big 12 been real interesting this year. Everybody seemed not great, but everybody seemed decent though. You know what I mean? Like, all the teams in the Big 12 seem like they right here around the same level. Like, anybody can be anybody pretty much any week. Entertaining. Very entertaining.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm gonna have to go with Oklahoma State because they I ain't gonna lie, they playing some good ball. They got one of them. They offense itself is exciting to watch.
I'm going with Oklahoma State too, but I ain't going for the offense. I'm going because they have a not a great defense, but it's good. Like, they're a good defense. And I know they lost their defensive coordinator. He went to Ohio State, and they bring in Derek Mason. And Derek Mason basically trying to keep the defense exactly the same. That ain't quite work out well. So they've been changing things a little bit here recently, and they've been playing better as a unit. So, like I know, especially in college football, good defense gonna travel. No matter where you go, your defense is still gonna be your defense. So I'm taking Oklahoma State because I feel like their defense is getting better and better every week at this point in the season.
I don't know how true that statement is.
Name somebody with a good defense that didn't travel.
Alabama, because we didn't travel to Tennessee, but
I said a good defense. We
played Mississippi State. We shut them boys out to the last 20 seconds of the fourth quarter.
Okay, 2 things happened. Number 1, I said a good defense. Y'all have a decent defense. It's not a thing. It's decent. Number two, y'all let Tennessee.
We might not have no elite defense.
Okay, cool. Y'all allow Tennessee to exploit one matchup the entire game, and that's what made y'all look bad. It wasn't that they were just killing y'all defense. They was exploiting one matchup.
I know, because we got a good defense, but that one matchup, you know.
And then the next week, y'all played Mississippi State. Eli Ricks was on the field like he should have been from the beginning because he y'all best corner. I don't care what nobody say. I'm standing on that. And it looked completely different when you had a cornerback playing cornerback and you allow Helms to play his natural position of safety, and he was out there wrecking shop like he normally does.
That's why I said we got a good defense. We ain't got a great and we ain't got an elite, but we got a good defense. But it did not travel to Tennessee.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Maybe the defense traveled, but the play calling wasn't there.
Yeah, man. Nick Saban.
But anyway, we ain't talking about us. We talking about
Okay, number 19 Kentucky on the roll, and number 9 Tennessee. I believe Tennessee is a 7-point favorite. I believe in the game, 7 or 10, something like that. It ain't that big. The line is small. You know, everybody felt like it was gonna be 14, 21, whatever. It ain't big at all. Kentucky got Will Levis back. They're a totally different team when Will Levis is playing.
Call me crazy for what I'm about to say, but so far this year, I really haven't been picking my upset games like I was last year. But this right here, I'm gonna pick an upset game. Now I hope Tennessee wins so that they could be undefeated when they play Georgia. But I'm not gonna be surprised if Kentucky going out and pull it off. So I'm gonna take Kentucky for my upset. That's my upset pick of the week right there. Kentucky at Tennessee.
Man, this is crazy. We don't usually agree on upset picks, but I feel like Kentucky can beat them people because I'm just really not super impressed with Tennessee like everybody else is. I watched the Alabama game, and that was their most impressive game of the entire season. And I seen so many mistakes.
One of our worst games.
Right, but see, to me, everybody look at it and say, "Oh, Tennessee forced Alabama to do this and do that." Like, no, Alabama just played terrible, and because they played terrible, Tennessee was able to take advantage of it.
We played terrible on defense. As far as offense, our offense was clicking. Bryce Young, he was running for his life on a few plays, but he was also using his legs and making and extending plays as well. I'm talking about that point where he take off running. It looked like he running for his life. Then he just cut back and step up in the. And I can't even say the pocket because he was out of the pocket, but he'll run and then he'll hit him with a little stutter step and cut back up and then sling them all down the field.
Yeah, he doesn't scramble to take off. He scrambles to basically buy time and throw the ball. Basically,
he keep his eyes upfield.
But when I say y'all had a terrible game, I'm talking about the whole team as far as 4 turnovers. The 17 penalties, the not really being able to run the ball for real, not sticking to the run when it was working, like all these type of things, you know, not making adjustments on the defense when the adjustment was so easy to be made. It was so clear, so simple to me anyway. But again, neither here nor there. I like Kentucky to pull the upset, man. I ain't gonna say I like Kentucky to pull the upset. I like Tennessee to win the game simply because Kentucky has not been able to run the ball consistently. And if they can't run the ball consistently, it take away from their team so much. The defense is good, but if you leave their defense out there for extended periods of time, they don't really have the depth of a Georgia or Alabama to really keep subbing like that, and they can wear them down.
What I can say about Kentucky offense, they really don't. They really don't have a run game, but with that being said, they set up a lot of play action. Like I watched the game when they played Florida. They was killing Florida with that play action and hitting the tight end. And they ain't hitting them for 20, 30, 40 yards. They hitting them for 8, 10, you know what I'm saying? Little small intermediate passes, but it's effective though. So when you bring them in for that, and you get them to where they starting to think that you finna try to run a play action, that'll kind of open up the run game for the simple fact that they gonna come up and then they gonna blitz and they gonna fall back to try to catch you in a play action to the tight end.
Now you right about that. Like that's another thing I've noticed. Like throughout the season, since they've been struggling to run the ball, they've been throwing a lot of the shorter, quick passes to kind of supplement the run game. And so
Yeah.
far, it's been working. You know, like I said, when Will Levis is healthy, they're a completely different team than when he's not in there. So I like Kentucky with the upset, man. I'm gonna go and stand on that one. Give me Kentucky in the upset.
Yeah, I'm with you. We'll agree on that. That's our upset pick.
Okay, number 2, Oklahoma. Number 2, Ohio State, who ain't played nobody all season. Finally getting to play somebody on the road. Number 13, Penn State. I seen the thing they had on Instagram, a meme that basically said 2016 or 17, one of them years. It was saying that basically Michigan blew Penn State out in Michigan, or in Ann Arbor. Then the next week they beat Minnesota, and the week after that they upset number 2 Ohio State at home. And they feel like with history repeat itself, because that's basically what's happened to them the last 2 weeks. Michigan blew them out in Ann Arbor. They beat Minnesota last week, and now they got Ohio State coming in ranked number 2. I don't see it happening. I don't see how.
I don't either. I don't see it happening. I don't think this Penn State team ain't it.
They ain't it.
They ain't as good as some of the past Penn State teams. Nah, I think the game will be close the first half, but I think the second half, Ohio State offense be a little bit too much for them, and they pull away in the second half.
I feel like we're going to get some questions answered. Number 1, is Ohio State defense legit? Because as much trash as I talk about Penn State, because their quarterback is not, he ain't great. He okay. That's what he is. He's a decent college quarterback. You know, as much as they talk about Stetson Bennett, like he is what they want Stetson Bennett to be, if that makes sense. And I don't mean Georgia people. I mean like the media saying, oh, he a game manager. He don't have a big arm. He can't do this. He can't do that. That's Penn State quarterback in real life, right? They running backs are legit. They got 2 freshman running backs. They legit. Like, I watched them boys run all over Auburn. And I understand that Auburn ain't the greatest team in America, but they still got great athletes. They still got good defense. They still can stop the run. They ran all over Auburn. Them boys is legit.
I mean, I think, like I said, I think it's gonna be a good game in the first half. I think it's gonna be, fairly decent. But I think Ohio State offense, in the end, find a way to pull away from Penn
I believe
State.
so. I believe so.
Now, let me say this: that's if they can keep Penn State from getting a big momentum swing. Now, if they let Penn State come out and they get that momentum going and they get that crowd into it, then I don't know. They might pull the upset.
So here's the thing about that though. Fox has already made it the big noon kickoff game, so they're kicking off at 12 o'clock. And to me, they did Ohio State a favor by doing that, because you kind of take the crowd out of it by having such an early game. You know what I mean? Like if it would have been a night game, it would have been the whiteout game in Happy Valley, and it would have been totally different. It would have been crazy end up. And that's the situation that it was, in the 2016-17 I was talking about when they beat Ohio State. It was the whiteout game at home at night, and it's just different, man. The atmosphere is different. So the crowd can get into it like that, and they can get the momentum. And honestly, a part of me hope they do. I want to see what Ohio State does when they have to face adversity, because so far this year, they haven't faced any. They've played nobodies. They've had one of the easiest schedules out of the top, 5-10 ranked teams in the country so far, if we being honest.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna see, man. But I believe Ohio State offense is too much, just like you. CJ Stroud, you want to be the number 1 overall draft pick? It's games like this you got to show up and perform. Like, simple. In the last game that we're going to discuss for tonight, the reigning national champions, them dogs, number 1. Going down to Jacksonville, the world's largest outdoor cocktail party, a.k.a. the Georgia-Florida game. I'll let you go first.
Ain't nothing to talk about. They finna beat them boys to sleep.
Man, it's a rivalry game, though.
Man, I don't mean that. It be a rivalry game every year. They finna beat them boys to sleep. Florida ain't talking about nothing for real this year.
Man, Florida got.
I mean, they really weren't talking about nothing last.
They wasn't. You know, to me, Dan Mullen did Georgia a favor by starting Anthony Richardson in this game last year. I was so happy. I was telling everybody that would listen to me, Georgia's gonna blow them out just because Anthony Richardson is starting. Nobody would believe me. Through the first quarter, it was 0-0. Through the second quarter, all the way to like the 2-minute mark of the second quarter, it was 0-0. And then what happened? Anthony Richardson did what Anthony Richardson likes to do. He turned the ball over 3 times, which led directly to 3 touchdowns. One of them was a pick 6. So, hey.
I think maybe the first 2 or 3 possessions for each team, Florida gonna come out and play hard. But once Georgia punched him in the mouth that first time, I don't see him stopping.
I feel you on that. I feel like Georgia's going to come out in this game and try to establish the run. And if they are able to establish the run, it's going to be a long day. Ooh, it's going to be a long day.
I don't even know that they're going to come out and try to establish the run, because here lately, Georgia being more of a goddamn spread offense type. I mean, they still running, but they doing more passing now. So I think they still try to follow that trend of, try to get balance, but also spreading that ball around.
That was true up until
you gotta know Florida gonna try to key in on the run game. They're gonna try to make y'all one dimensional.
It's the thing though. It's the thing. So Georgia was 100% pass happy up until the fourth quarter of the Missouri game. And if you look at every game since then, they've been either balanced or run heavy. Like against Auburn, they came out and established the run and basically just ran the ball down their throat, for most of the game. They were able to hit play action and all that off of it because they were able to establish the run. So I feel like they're going to come into the Florida game and try to do the same thing. Now, if Florida is able to stop the run, because they pretty decent up front, then, so then you'll see a lot more of the spread concepts, getting the ball to Brock Bowers and Darnell Washington out in space. I believe A.D. Mitchell will be back like 100%. I don't know if he's going to be 100%, but he's back practicing. I put it like that. So if he back practicing, they give you that big, tall receiver on the outside that can beat you down the field, and that's going to open it up even more. For the run game, even then, you can spread it out and run it out of the spread sets. I just feel like
they don't really have an offense though.
Florida, that's what I was finna get to. I just feel like Florida can't score. Now with Anthony Richardson,
they don't really got an offense. I think they run game be non-existent. I feel like they might try to come out and try to establish a run too, so that they can open up the field with the play action and spread it all out. But the run game gonna get shut down first thing. So I don't know. I don't think they got the offensive power to keep up. It was just like when they played Tennessee. Now they played Tennessee very good. That was a good game for a while.
Mm-hmm.
But
they couldn't score. They couldn't score enough to keep up.
Yeah, exactly. So, and Georgia defense is a lot better than Tennessee's. So
absolutely.
I don't think they're gonna be able to put up enough points. Even if their defense was to slow y'all down, let's say they played the game of the year for them so far, and they slow y'all down, I don't think their offense will be able to complement the defense.
I don't think their offense can score more than twice in this game. And I don't know whether they be 10 points or 14 points. But I don't see them scoring more than that. I don't really see them scoring twice.
I mean, I think y'all like a 22 or 24 point favorite, something like that.
Something like that. If it was me, if I had to bet my money, I would take Georgia to cover them points. Because just what you said, I just don't see where Florida's going to generate enough offense. If Georgia doesn't, bust coverage and miss tackles, I don't see it. Because I don't see where they can really take advantage of any mismatch, especially with Anthony Richardson, because he's prone to throwing the ball to the other team.
Yeah, but what's y'all cornerback that was getting burnt by Missouri?
Kamari Lassiter?
No.
Oh, Keely Ringo.
Yeah, Ringo. Maybe they try to throw at him. Y'all just lost y'all starting safety?
No.
And Jackson.
He wasn't starting no more.
Oh.
Yeah, see Malachi starting back.
One of y'all main rotating safeties, and I say they split time if he wants to start. He got a lot of playing time.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He was like the number one when they come in with that dime package. For the most part, he was one of the safeties that come in then. But like they changed the defense up when he come in. They put him in a deep zone and bring Christopher Smith or Malachi Starks down to play coverage on them slot receivers. So now that he's hurt, what they more than likely gonna do is leave Christopher Smith and Malachi Starks back deep and bring in Tyke Smith and Javon Bullard, who already been playing this star, that nickel role anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So when you go 6 DBs, you'll have those two in there with the two safeties. Or they could bring in, a couple of them young corners like Nyland Green, Nyland Everett, Jaheim Singletary. And when I tell you them boys can go, all of them can go.
I can believe
they need more experience. But as far as like athletes, as far as I'm gonna put you on this man and that's all you got to worry about, I don't worry about them at all. Not man-to-man coverage.
Well, I mean, like I say, I think Georgia gonna go on there and thump them boys, and that's pretty much it. And it really ain't no need to keep elaborating about that. Florida they ain't talking about nothing.
I concur. Another guy I wanted to ask you about, we don't know much about the team. Let me go and start by saying that right now. But College Game Day is going to the Southern at Jackson State game. Deion, if I ain't swag, who is swag?
Yeah. He putting them boys on the map, man. I like that. He putting HBCU on the map. I ain't gonna say HBCU because it's mainly just his school, but
I wouldn't even say that. I wouldn't say that. I would say he putting all the HBCUs on the map. Like not only the SWAC, but since you had Deion Sanders go to Jackson State, you done had Eddie George go to Tennessee State or East Tennessee State. I can't remember exactly which one now. And you had, oh my goodness, I just had the man's name on the tip of my tongue. Hugh Jackson. He had one of the HBCUs now too. Like these are NFL dudes coming back to coach at these black colleges that we know can't really afford, what these guys could be making in other places.
Yeah.
But they doing it, because of somebody like Deion Sanders. Like we could sit here and act like that ain't what it is.
You just played into what I said. Deion Sanders putting him on the map.
Absolutely. I'm saying that I just feel like, man, Deion Sanders being at Jackson State and being who he is does so much for the HBCUs as a whole and not just Jackson State.
I can agree with that.
I see a lot of people that's salty about that. They jealous. They feel like maybe he's not in it for the kids that's playing, or maybe he only in it for himself. I don't see that because I feel like
if you ever watch any of their locker room film when they be recording in the locker room, man, he be really engaged. You know what I'm saying? Really engaged with his players. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like he got different relationships with all of them. Of course, that's expected. But it's like he involved, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
He let them have fun. A lot of stuff they do in their locker room and when they watch the film and stuff, how they be in there wilding out at these big programs, it's strictly business for the most part.
Yeah, I hate to say it like this, but if I was a senior in high school and you asked me who would I rather have as my coach, Deion Sanders or Nick Saban, give me Deion, dog.
Okay.
That ain't a hard choice.
All right, what about Deion Sanders and Kirby Smart?
Give me Deion, dog. That's not a hard choice.
You could have said that the first time, but you gotta say Nick Saban.
The reason I said Nick Saban is because we both agree.
Nick Saban is the GOAT.
Nick Saban is the greatest. He's great.
I will go play, and you might think I'm being biased, or you might think I'm just being a big fan, but I'm gonna go play for Nick Saban because he's the GOAT. You gotta look at what he done put out.
It's cool.
Deion Sanders, if I'm going to play for a coach that I want to have fun, I want to, wild out, be around a bunch of people like me, you know what I'm saying, then yeah, I'm going to go to Deion. But if I'm going because I want to be the best version of me that I can be, I'm going to Nick. So
let me ask you this then, right? If Deion Sanders was, if Deion Sanders was the head coach at Georgia, right? Cause I could say Georgia and Alabama, resource-wise, are comparable, right? We can say they
Yeah.
pretty much even, right?
Yeah.
If he was the head coach at Georgia and Nick Saban at Alabama, would you still choose Alabama?
Are we going based off of who's done what, or are we going based
No,
off?
we're going based off of you a senior in high school. You have to make a decision. Do you want to go play for Coach Prime at UGA with all their resources, or Coach Saban at Alabama with their resources?
I'm gonna go to Saban because I know he gonna get the best out of me. I'm gonna be the best version of myself that I can be. You know what I'm saying? I know what he's done. He's the GOAT.
So hold on. So my question would be, do you not believe that Deion can do the same thing?
I mean, I ain't gonna say I don't believe it, but I gotta see it first. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like I say, he at the HBCU, he let the players be themselves, they have fun and all that. But at the same time, at the end of the day, I'm there to better myself. I'm there to win championships.
Right.
So I gotta see that. You know, you could ask me the same thing. You could take Nick Saban out of it and ask me, would I rather go play for Deion at Georgia, or would I rather play for Dabo at Clemson? I know what Dabo's done. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
So
I mean,
as far as a
I
player
can't do nothing but respect that. I can't do nothing but respect that because you going off of what's already been done.
yeah,
Can't do nothing but respect that.
that's what
I
I'm
look
basing
at
it
it.
off of.
See, I look at it like this. I look at it like, if I'm a senior in high school right now, if I go play for Deion Sanders, number one, he know what it take to get there. Number two, I feel like he gonna push me just as hard as all the rest of them is or are. I mean, let me speak properly. And he's able to reach out to people and get them to come that maybe a Nick Saban or Kirby or Dabo not necessarily couldn't reach out to, but they wouldn't really reach out to, if that makes sense.
I mean, when you say reach out, I would say I believe what you meaning is reaching out in a way of more of who can relate more to the player. You know what I'm saying?
No, that ain't what I mean. I mean that too, but that ain't what I mean when I say reach out. Meaning, I was a defensive lineman in high school. One of the people I looked up to as far as how to play on defensive line was Warren Sapp, right? Warren Sapp was at Jackson State not too long ago working with the defensive line. Like, you would never see a Warren Sapp at Georgia or Alabama working with the defensive line. He has no ties to the school whatsoever. But somebody like a Deion Sanders will say, hey, Warren, if you ain't doing nothing, why don't you come by and speak to my defensive lineman? Work with him a little bit, work with my defensive line coach, maybe show him a little something.
And you know what? Because of the school that he's at and because of the awareness that he's bringing to them, they're going to be like, okay, yeah, let me go help out with that. I want to be a part of that. So, yeah.
Right. So if he was at a Georgia, he could do that. And on top of that, you already know all the alums going to come back and do whatever they can do anyway. Like, they just come with the job.
It's because of that, yeah. And then, again, it's because of who he is. Like, okay, yeah, I can go assist Deion Sanders. You know what I'm saying? Like, prime time, baby. Exactly.
But, this...
But again, I would go to Deion if I'm going based off of who he is and the fun that I can have and being that, you know what I'm saying, I can relate to him. We at HBCU, so it's a lot of more people like me. Yeah, but if I'm going based off of who's done what, I'm going to have to go with what I already seen proven.
I can't argue with that. I can't argue with that at all.
But yeah, I know Georgia finna start them boys unless they go out there and play like they played against Missouri, then they might get upset. Man, I don't see that happening now. I don't think they're gonna do that, but it's the rivalry game.
This is the funny part. This is the funny part. If Georgia offense struggles against Florida like they did against Missouri, I still think they'll win the game. I think they'll win the same way.
No, man. Florida better than Missouri.
Florida defense is better than Missouri. I have no faith in Florida offense. None. And I could be dead wrong. I could be
you don't think Florida offense is better than Missouri?
No.
Missouri got zero offense. It's exactly why they couldn't do nothing with it. Even though they was defense playing good and stopping y'all, they couldn't do nothing with it.
The problem with Florida, The problem with Florida's offense is if they can't run the ball, they can't win games. I don't see how they run the ball and dominate the time of possession against a Georgia defense. I just don't see it.
But
So
this ain't
even if the offense is struggling,
the Georgia defense that showed up against Missouri ain't the typical Georgia defense, is what I'm saying.
no, that's true. That's why I said if the offense struggles like that, they still win the game. If the defense has, the same bust in the secondary, because that's all it was for real was miscommunication. You doing this, you doing that.
A bunch of bust, Ringo getting burnt like that.
He really wasn't getting burnt. Hold on. He wasn't getting burnt. Let's not do that.
I ain't saying they was just scoring on him now.
No, he was giving up a lot of underneath passes. Like, for whatever reason, he was playing off. I don't understand.
If you call a 45-yard pass down the field and underneath.
Nah. That wasn't on him. That was Kamari Lassiter. That was one of the butts. He was in the wrong spot.
This one I seen one specific play. He was with the receiver, but when they went up to get it, the receiver just got dang.
I know exactly what you're talking. He missed time to jump. Yeah, now that was just a bad play by him. Absolutely.
But I still feel like if they play Florida the way they play Missouri, they're gonna lose. But I don't see that happening. Nobody see that happening.
True.
Y'all are 22 24 point favorite. Y'all probably beat them by 30. The final score probably be 35.
Man, I see 40 to 10, man. 45 to 10.
I can believe that.
But all right, man, we done held the people up long enough. I might drop some of this behind the scene footage, man. You think we should give it to them?
Yeah, man, we can give them a little bit of it. They might find some interesting.
So, y'all think we go at it on the podcast?
Know, if they have any questions or anything they would like to discuss, man, we're gonna try to, do an episode where they can actually call in and we can all give our opinions on things.
Oh yeah, be looking out for that. You know what I'm saying? We trying to put it together real soon. Whenever we decide when we gonna do it or whatever, I'm gonna put it out on all my social media. I'll probably put it up on YouTube as well. Yeah, man. So you got any questions, you can wait till then, or really you can go ahead and put them down in the comment section. You can inbox myself or Rodriguez, and we'll speak on it.
You ain't gotta call me Rodriguez. Everybody know me by Drake.
Hey, man, I'm trying to be professional. Yeah.
Okay, then. All right.
Nah, I'm gonna call you Drake because it take real work for me to call you Rodriguez. I'm just being honest with you. But all right, man. Till next time, man. Y'all be easy.
Yeah, man. We out of here.